Do you ever stop and wonder, how many years do I really have left? After 70, every moment starts to feel more precious. Time becomes heavier. Even a quiet afternoon can feel like a silent question mark. How's my body really doing? The truth is, most people think death comes suddenly, like a thief in the night. But that's not true. Your body is already whispering clues, subtle signs that say a lot about how long you might live. Most of us just never learn how to listen. Some people in their 70s still walk with strength, laugh with clarity, and carry the glow of life in their eyes. Others feel slower, more tired, even foggy in their minds. Why? What makes the difference? That's what this story is about. We're going to walk through 7 silent signs that researchers, geriatric doctors, and long-lived elders all agree can quietly predict your life expectancy, not guesses, but actual measurable patterns. These aren't meant to scare you. They're meant to help you see clearly where you are, and more importantly, what you can still change to add more years and life to those years. If you're finding this meaningful, give this a like, and consider subscribing so you don't miss future insights that may change your life after 60. Now let's begin. First, your walking speed tells a bigger story than you think. It's not your blood pressure. Not your cholesterol. Not even your weight. The single most accurate predictor of longevity after 70? Your walking speed. It sounds almost too simple. But study after study shows that people over 70 who walk at a steady, confident pace, especially outdoors, tend to live years longer than those whose steps have slowed down. Meet Henry and Louise. Both are 75. Henry walks his dog every morning. Not a power walk, just steady, upright, with rhythm. He climbs stairs without holding the rail. When the light turns red, he crosses the street with ease. Louise, on the other hand, used to be active. But now, he hesitates at curbs. He avoids uneven sidewalks. And lately, he's started taking frequent breaks when walking from the living room to the mailbox. It's not just about steps. It's about what your walking speed represents: muscle health, heart health, brain connectivity, and your body's overall resilience. Slow, unsteady steps often mean deeper things are slowing too. Circulation, joint strength, coordination, even memory. But here's the good news, you can rebuild this. Yes, even in your 70s. Start small. Walk a little further each day. Do light leg lifts while holding a chair. Stand up without using your hands. Because how fast you move through life may be the clearest sign of how long you'll stay in it. Second, your grip is a mirror of your lifespan. How strong is your handshake? If that sounds like an odd question, here's why it matters. A firm, steady grip is one of the most consistent indicators of survival after 70. It reflects muscle mass, circulation, and nervous system function, all key to independence and longevity. Think of Susan and Madeline. Susan, 78, does light gardening. She opens jars, carries her grocery bags, and once beat her grandson at an arm wrestling match, not because she's stronger, but because she's consistent. Madeline, also 78, started noticing she struggled to hold her mug of tea in the morning. Buttons became tricky. She blamed it on arthritis. But the doctors found her muscle strength had quietly slipped below a critical threshold. A weak grip isn't just about aging. It predicts frailty, higher risk of falls, and even mortality. But just like walking speed, grip strength can be regained. Squeeze a tennis ball. Use a simple hand gripper. Hang a bag of rice and carry it from room to room. These tiny actions train your body to hold on, not just to objects, but to life itself. Your hands say more than you think. Third, can you stand on one leg for 10 seconds? Go ahead. Try it now. Stand up. Hold one foot a few inches off the floor. Count to 10. Could you do it? If not, don't panic. But don't ignore it either. The ability to balance, especially on one leg, is one of the most powerful predictors of longevity in adults over 70. Why? Because balance isn't just about ankles and knees. It's your entire nervous system working with your muscles, eyesight, and brain in real time. Meet Clara and June. Clara, 74, practices light yoga every morning. Nothing fancy. Just balance poses and stretches. When she walks, she feels centered, physically and mentally. June, also 74, hasn't thought much about balance in years. Until one day, she tripped over a corner rug and couldn't get back up. That's when the doctor told her, "It's not your fall that's dangerous. It's your recovery." Poor balance often leads to falls. Falls lead to fractures. Fractures lead to bed rest, and bed rest shortens life. But just like the others, this, too, can be trained. Start with baby steps. Heel-to-toe walking in a hallway. Light Tai Chi. Practice standing on one leg while brushing your teeth. It's not just exercise. It's your brain and body working together, keeping you upright and keeping you here. Fourth, your sleep isn't just rest, it's renewal. You already know sleep is important. But after 70, sleep becomes a medical marker. Not just how long you sleep, but how deeply, how consistently. Let's compare George and Robert, both 76. George goes to bed by 10 p.m. Wakes naturally by 6. Doesn't wake up more than once a night. He doesn't need pills, just a dark room, quiet space, and no screen time before bed. Robert stays up watching late-night TV. He tosses, turns, and sometimes wakes up drenched in sweat or short of breath. He naps all day but never feels rested. Research shows seniors with disrupted sleep cycles are twice as likely to experience cognitive decline and cardiovascular issues. Because nighttime is when your body repairs itself. Flushes brain toxins. Balances hormones. Regulates immune function. If your sleep is broken, your body isn't restoring. It's just surviving. Fix your sleep, fix your future. Create a routine. Avoid caffeine after noon. Open the window for fresh air. Turn off lights 30 minutes before bed. Listen to soft instrumental music. And most importantly, listen to your body's signals. Because poor sleep now can mean bigger problems tomorrow. 5. Loss of appetite isn't just aging, it's a red flag. At first, it seems innocent. A skipped breakfast. A half-eaten dinner. You're just not that hungry. But after 70, a fading appetite isn't just a side effect of aging, it's often a signal that your body is beginning to slow down in deeper ways. Let's talk about Harold and Leo. Harold is 80. He still enjoys his meals, oatmeal with cinnamon in the morning, grilled fish and greens for lunch. His eyes still light up when dessert is mentioned. He's lean, but strong. His clothes still fit. Leo, 79, started skipping lunch. He says he's just not in the mood to eat. His clothes hang looser. He's lost nearly 12 pounds in 6 months, without trying. That might not sound dramatic. But studies show that unintentional weight loss after 70 is one of the clearest warning signs of frailty, reduced immunity, and even shorter lifespan. Why? Because appetite is deeply connected to your hormones, digestion, mood, and brain function. When the body stops sending hunger signals, it often means it's conserving energy, a process that can occur as the body begins preparing for decline. Loss of appetite also leads to muscle loss, weakened immunity, cognitive dulling, increased fall risk. But here's the hopeful part, it's not always too late. If you or someone you love has started eating less, don't force large meals. Instead, offer small, nutrient-rich foods throughout the day. Eggs, avocado toast, yogurt, soft fruits, soup, warm milk. Eat with someone. Play soft music during meals. Use herbs and natural flavors to awaken fading taste buds. Eating is more than fuel. It's connection. It's dignity. It's life. 6th, how you handle stress can add, or subtract, years. Stress isn't just in your head. It's in your heart, your immune system, your blood vessels, your memory. And after 70, how you respond to stress may actually predict how long and how well you'll live. Meet Betty and Charles. Betty is 73. Her husband passed away 2 years ago. Her finances are tight. And yes, she worries sometimes. But every morning, she walks barefoot on her porch with her tea, breathes deeply, and listens to birdsong. When things get hard, she talks to her pastor or writes in her journal. She releases it. Charles, 74, watches news constantly. He argues with the TV. He replays old conversations in his head, what he should have said, what they should have done. He lies awake at night clenching his fists. His blood pressure has climbed. His sleep has deteriorated. It's not about being positive. It's about learning how to let go. Long-term stress raises cortisol levels, causes inflammation, weakens the immune system, and even shrinks the hippocampus, the part of your brain responsible for memory and orientation. It also accelerates biological aging. Literally. But the body is resilient. Even at 75, 80, or 90. Try this: when you feel overwhelmed, pause. Take 5 deep breaths. Speak gently to yourself. Go outside. Rub lavender oil on your temples. Say a short prayer. Call a friend. Walk slowly and with intention. Peace is not the absence of problems. It's the presence of tools. And the more tools you have, the longer your light will shine. 7th. The longevity power of meaningful connection. It's not just about how you move, what you eat, or how you sleep. One of the most powerful indicators of long life? Love. Friendship. Purpose. Connection. We are wired to be known, to belong, even in our final chapters. Let's meet Helen and Doreen. Helen, 81, lives alone, but she's far from lonely. She calls her sister every morning. She plays cards with neighbors once a week. She sends birthday cards to her grandkids, even if they forget to write back. She volunteers once a month, folding clothes at a shelter. Doreen, 83, also lives alone. But her phone rarely rings. She says, "They're all too busy." She watches TV most of the day, occasionally peeking out the window. The days blur. She forgets what month it is. Her world is quiet, not peaceful quiet, but forgotten quiet. Social disconnection is now considered as deadly as smoking 15 cigarettes a day. It raises the risk of stroke, heart disease, depression, cognitive decline, early death. You don't need dozens of friends. You need one person who listens, a neighbor who smiles, a child who calls, a dog who greets you, a voice that says, "I'm glad you're still here." If no one's calling, you call. Join a reading group. Visit the community center. Write a letter. Ask the barista their name. Hold someone's hand at church. Longevity isn't about avoiding death. It's about leaning into life, fully, fiercely, and with open arms. Look at the signs, then look in the mirror. If you've read this far, you're already doing something most people never do. You're paying attention. So let's ask the questions that matter. How fast do you walk? How firm is your grip? Can you balance on one foot? Do you sleep through the night? Are you enjoying your meals? Do you handle stress with grace? Are you connected to people who care? No one is perfect. You don't need to be. But the body keeps score. And the beautiful thing is, it also responds to effort, even small ones. Each walk strengthens your future. Each healthy meal nourishes your tomorrow. Each moment of peace lengthens your joy. Each conversation adds light to your day. So here's your quiet invitation. Pick one thing today. Just one. Strengthen it. Nourish it. Rebuild it. Because you're not done yet. And your body, whispering through these signs, knows it too. You are still here, and that means something. Somewhere between your 70s and 80s, something shifts. It's no longer about chasing time. It's about understanding it. You begin to realize that every quiet morning, every smile from a stranger, every cup of tea in your hand, is a gift. You've lived through losses, weathered seasons, loved and lost, fought your battles and survived. And here you are, still standing. But standing doesn't mean you stop moving forward. Because if there's one truth every long-lived elder has quietly proven, it's this. Life doesn't end at 70. It just changes form. What used to matter may no longer. And what once felt small, a good walk, a strong heartbeat, a hand to hold, now feels like gold. Let's go deeper into what truly separates those who live longer and better after 70. Eighth, your emotional state becomes a physical reality. You've heard this saying, you are what you eat. But after 70, another truth rises quietly. You are what you feel. Chronic sadness, bitterness, regret, these aren't just emotions. They become physical conditions when they go unhealed. They affect your heart rate, your immunity, even your ability to heal from simple wounds. Let's meet Don and Arthur. Don, 78, lost his wife 5 years ago. But every morning, he still writes her a short letter in a little notebook. He talks to her out loud, pours his coffee into her old mug, and goes for a walk, smiling at the trees she loved. Arthur, 77, also lost his spouse. But he carries the grief like a rock in his chest. He stopped answering calls, stopped cooking. On most days, he simply waits, not for something good, but for it all to be over. Science now confirms that emotional stagnation accelerates decline. Depression increases cortisol, which suppresses the immune system and triggers inflammation, a major driver of most age-related diseases. But you are not your sadness. Not permanently. Even after 70, the brain can rebuild joy. The heart can remember how to soften. Your spirit can still feel light. You just have to let a little light in. Talk to someone. Write. Pray. Sit in the sun. Plant something. Smile at a child. Every gentle emotion you feed yourself becomes medicine. Ninth, the ability to adapt equals the will to live. You may have heard the phrase, the strongest survive. But when it comes to aging, that's not exactly true. It's not the strongest who thrive, it's the most adaptable. Let's talk about Joanna and Ellen. Joanna, 81, used to live in a 2-story house. After her fall, she moved into a smaller flat near her daughter. She learned to use a cane. She switched her favorite recipes to fit her new dietary needs. She even started using voice-to-text to message her grandkids. Ellen, 82, resisted everything. I don't want a walker. I don't want help. I don't need to change. She stayed in her old home, stairs and all, until one more fall took away her independence completely. Aging well requires flexibility, not just in your body, but in your mind. The will to learn, to adjust, to try something new, these are the things that quietly predict longevity. Buy the phone with bigger buttons. Try the new exercise class. Accept the help. Say yes to something different. Because adapting doesn't mean giving in. It means choosing to stay connected to life as it is now, not just how it used to be. 10th. People who forgive live longer and die lighter. This might surprise you, elders who forgive, truly forgive, tend to live longer and report more peace in their final years. Not just forgiving others, but forgiving themselves. That affair. That broken friendship. That thing you said 40 years ago. That child you couldn't save. That time you gave up too early. Holding on doesn't protect you. It wears you down. You don't have to forget. You just have to say, I accept that I was human. And that they were, too. too. You may think, it's too late now. It's not. You could still write a letter. You could still whisper to the sky. You could still look at yourself in the mirror and say, I release you. I release me. There's something about this act, invisible, sacred, and deeply healing, that frees up your heart. And when your heart is lighter, your body doesn't have to carry as much. That alone could give you more days, or at least better ones. 11th. Your environment either heals you or hurts you. Where you spend your time in your 70s and beyond matters more than most people realize. Is your home filled with natural light? Can you open a window and feel fresh air? Do you have things around you that bring warmth, a plant, a photo, a soft chair, a favorite book? Or is your space silent, dark, cluttered with things that don't serve you anymore? The Japanese concept of ikigai, a reason for being, is deeply tied to environment. In places where people live past 100, like Okinawa, their homes are arranged to support joyful movement, natural beauty, and daily connection. You don't have to move to Japan. But you can. Place your chair near a window. Add a photo that makes you smile. Remove objects that feel heavy or unused. Keep a plant or a candle near your favorite corner. Open a curtain. Every morning. Your home should not feel like a waiting room. It should feel like a place where life still happens. Even quietly. Even simply. But still, fully alive. 12th. You still matter, more than you know. You may not be useful in the ways the world celebrates. You may not be working, raising children, or leading meetings. But don't be fooled by silence. Your presence is a medicine someone needs. When you share a story, you pass down wisdom. When you smile at a child, you pass down safety. When you speak gently, you pass down grace. When you stand tall, even with pain, you pass down strength. You are not here by accident. The fact that you're still waking up, still breathing, still noticing the sky, it means life is still flowing through you. And if life has chosen to keep you, it's because you are still part of what keeps the world balanced. So, what now? Take this message, and instead of saying, I'm too old to change, try saying, I've lived long enough to know what really matters, and I choose that, starting today. You don't need to do everything. Just do one small thing with great care. That is the quiet art of longevity. That is how some people make it to 100, not by luck, but by listening. Not by perfection, but by love. If this story spoke to you, if you felt seen, understood, or inspired, leave a comment, share it with someone who needs it, or simply sit for a moment and breathe a little deeper. Because you're still here. And that means, you still have time. Which sign surprised you the most? Let me know in the comments. If this touched your heart, consider subscribing so you don't miss more stories like this. You are not forgotten. You are not too late. You are not alone. You're just getting started, again.